Fox News and the Tucker effect. The firing, ratings tank, the blowback.
Ooh, yeah.
Where's Tucker going?
You are correct.
Part 2, Rupert Murdoch, more accusations, and the man in the mirror. I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this.
And the new name for monkeypox is now officially, and we're declaring it, Schlong COVID.
Nice.
Is what's next. Hey, what's up, everyone? Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily. Of course, this is the weekend edition. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. You know, it was a little rainy on the East Coast, but not so bad. A little chilly, what have you. The Tucker Carlson effect, the aftermath. In part 1, we covered Tucker's firing, ratings tanking, and of course, the left jumping up and down like they hit the lottery. That was in a previous video, but still, same goes into effect here, same play. And of course, Megyn Kelly doing mic drops in regards to how Fox conducts itself and towards its ex-employees. Part 2, we'll cover Rupert Murdoch, more shenanigans, accusations, and of course, the man in the mirror. This, out of Breitbart. The Murdoch family has owned the Fox News since inception, and with it wields immeasurable power over the American populace. They technically control what shows up in the news programming on the television screens of millions of Americans. But whether it was exercised that control, they varied their own decades of running it. Much like the Roy family in Succession, there are lots of times where the Murdochs seem to be oblivious or indifferent or both to what exactly appearing on the network. But there are occasions throughout the history where sometimes it rises to that level, business decision level, whether they felt the need to intervene or change things. For instance, 2016 presidential election. They ousted longtime and founding network head Roger Ailes, who a short time later passed away. And right now, they are stepping into wiping out 2 major shows, thereby sending a message to everyone else that they are in fact the bosses. Since Ailes' ouster, though, the Murdochs have been on a long stream of indifference, mostly at Fox News. Tucker Carlson Tonight went first on the air in November 2016, and the show has dominated that 8 o'clock slot ever since. Carlson regularly was edgy in his content, questioning establishment Republicans, the Murdochs, friends, and donor classes, in other words, hammering things like the desire for some endless war. The trade-off for the Murdochs was, despite the disruption Carlson brought to their social circles, it was a ratings machine and represented the truest possible way ratings boomtown for the network. In the 2016 election was one of inflection point for Fox, one insider told Breitbart News. 2020 election was another one. Fox's decision to call Arizona for now President Joe Dementia days ahead before everyone else did infuriated the Make America Great Again, or MAGA, base. Fox News was reeling again and needed intervention to stop the bleeding among the audience. Post-2020, when Fox was really hurting, there was a sort of shift by the right by Fox to cover their flank. One former Fox News staffer told Breitbart, "It's why they brought in Bongino. They gave Jesse 7 o'clock. They got Tucker to do Fox Nation shows. They replaced Shannon Bream's 11 p.m. shows with like Greg Gutfeld. They generally became more conservative of a network." In doing so, with the hard push to the right that began with Trump's 2016 election win, accelerated post-20 election because the networks moved to undercut him while Dementia won, it was announced what amounted to a wild, wild west environment, and Fox News where management, in other words, the Murdochs and their agents, receded and their hosts' talent did what they wanted. In Carlson's hour, he did whatever he wanted to do in that hour, one network insider told Breitbart. That made it unique and made it poignant television because you didn't know what topic would be discussed or how it would be discussed. But everything changed with Dominion's settlement, when Fox News settled for nearly $800 million. With that company, the staggering sum for the settlement, the amount of other suits barreling down the pike against Fox News from Smartmatic to the former producer Abby Grossberg, according to Megyn Kelly, really doesn't have anything to hit Tucker with. At this point, really doesn't matter. The Murdochs were rattled, per the network sources. Multiple sources familiar with the matter told Breitbart that Carlson never actually met Grossberg in person, ever. And that's according to Megyn Kelly as well. during her months as producer for his show, something others have reported already. So, shenanigans. Several sources familiar with the matter say they quickly moved to reestablish control over the media empire by ousting Bongino and Carlson and sending a message to everyone internally. They best remember who's in charge. It's like when your first day in prison and you find the biggest, baddest, meanest dude in the yard and beat the living shit out of him, another network insider told Breitbart. From that day forward, everyone knows not to F with you. And what the Murdochs just did by getting rid of Tucker and Dan, anyone who have challenged their vision for the direction of the company has learned that if you follow around, you will find out something not so good for yourself. This change at Fox made it more fundamentally top-down driven, the person added. Only recently did Fox try and reflect grassroots conservatism more. I think we're going to see a revision of the Fox of the past, where fewer segments attacking Mitch McConnell, yes, turkey neck mother, who's worthless in Congress, and generally dumb it down. What's truly interesting about how much blowback Fox is getting from its audience since canceling Tucker and Bongino, something that for the brass, including Murdochs, seemed to have not calculated clearly ahead of time. They didn't really plan too well ahead, knowing what the blowback would be. In fact, the ratings crashed in primetime this week, and Carlson's own video released on Twitter that Wednesday evening in his first hour post-publication got more viewers online than the network's 8 p.m. hour. As of this moment, that video clip of Tucker has been seen over 50 million times on Twitter. Yikes. His old time slap got total ratings. For now, Murdochs think they're above it all, and this too shall pass. The election is coming up next year, and they think they're going to get their viewers back anyway because there's nowhere else to go. Well, that's a complete and utter bullshit falsehood. Another interesting detail about all this, how quickly the Murdochs shifted gears. While Bongino has been classy in his public comments about everything, his Rumble video announcing the end of his time at Fox News has got well over 1 million views. The truth of the matter is far more complicated than one person said bizarre. And of course, good guy. Got screwed. A source intricately familiar with Bongino's contract negotiations told Breitbart that for months Fox tried to get him to re-up the deal. Even Bongino said as much. Negotiations were failing for a long time because Bongino did not like how the show was doing on Saturdays and did not like working 6 days a week. Really? While Bongino had his battles with Fox News management over a number of things, them editing his interview with Trump, for instance, was a sore spot. He got along with everyone there, not sure he wanted to take Fox News up on the offer to re-up the show due to scheduling problems, and also he was not a fan of taking the poison poke, which of course that was mandated at Fox News at the time. The Fox News settled with Dominion, and promptly management and the network called Bongino and said, yeah, about that negotiation, yeah, get to stepping. Bongino went on his show on Rumble the next day and announced his departure from Fox. Fox had wanted him to go on the air and do one last show. He did not want to do that. He said he would just announce it on a show. Fox was a little worried that he was going to flame them, the source said, but Bongino did not. He was classy and instead aired a very classy announcement telling fans the show was ending publicly, downplaying any disagreements with the network. Yeah, takes a lot of cojones. A few days later after that, Monday morning, Fox News cut Carlson and the picture became much more clear in the focus what was exactly being done. Bongino and Carlson, one source said, were considered the two most likely to say fuck you to management, which was absolutely true. A network insider said, adding that Bongino gave zero fuck and Tucker even gave less fuck. One network source told Breitbart News that Bongino and Carlson's ousters are so obviously tied together that anyone can see it clearly. After Dominion, there was a much clearer meeting on the network. I don't know if it was a board meeting, just the Murdochs, but someone made a decision and said the two biggest threats to the network, they don't listen to anyone, the source said. Neither one were controllable. They were just doing their own thing. They were developing such a high profile that it became problems for the network. They just decided on Wednesday to cut Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the weekend, Monday. Look at that. While the Murdochs clearly do not like Trump, the second person had, Trump's strong performance in the polls now means that going against him will be akin to rocking the boat. And basically, what Carlson and Bongino moves signal is a move by the Murdochs to get away from that edgy, including the slamming on the brakes on any effort to try to specifically shake up the 24 primary. I think it has less to do with Trump than DeSantis. It has to do with more people like Mitch McConnell and John Thune, the source said. The change in programming will be that some sort of controversial bill will be moving up Capitol Hill. Tucker will often use this show to try to kill it. That sort of stuff won't be going on anymore. I just think it's the network and the programming will be dumber. Rah-rah GOP, milquetoast content, bullshit. It's a revisionist at what Fox was. The Tucker era at Fox was a deviation from the norm at the network. My thoughts. To wrap this up, in a nutshell, Fox pretty much says, listen, we've got a brand. We've got a rep. This is what you do. You shut the fuck and you do what you're told. It's the reason why nobody else shakes the boat. Not Hannity, not Laura Ingraham, not anybody on the Five, not Jesse Waters, no one. There were only two, Tucker and Dan. They're the only two that basically did what they wanted on the show. Why? Because they were given carte blanche to do what they were doing. The reason why Dan was succeeding on Saturday nights, which it's unheard of, because usually if you're being put on Saturday night, that's usually a death knell for anyone. But Dan made it work. He brought the eyeballs in. And with Tucker, you're averaging 5 million per night. The most superseded one Bill O'Reilly, who was doing 4 million a night at his peak of his powers. But of course, different situation. And of course, you have Megyn Kelly and what have you. But with Tucker and Dan, again, I will quote one Obi-Wan Kenobi. Strike me down, I will be more powerful than you can ever imagine. And Tucker and Dan is proving that over at Rumble. And what's going to happen with Tucker? Fox News is going to get so fucked up. They are truly fucked up on this, and they royally fucked up on firing Tucker, and Tucker is going to make them pay. It's going to be so good. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below, like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. And we'll see you next time. Peace.